From the station working for you, this is an RTV6 special report.
And good evening to you at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins bringing you the news from my home. It's one way RTV6 is practicing social distancing.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. We start tonight with the latest on the toll the COVID-19 pandemic is taking on Hoosier lives. More than 5,500 people have tested positive for the virus in Indiana. More than 28,000 have been tested. 173 people have died. And today, the state's health commissioner, Dr. Christina Box, put the number of deaths in perspective.
On average, over the last 5 years, we've only lost about 150 to 160 Hoosiers in a 7-month period of time to influenza each year. These numbers change daily, and I want to brace you to see them increase as we get closer to the peak of this disease.
Also at today's daily briefing, Governor Eric Holcomb said if people continue to gather in large groups, the state may take more enforcement action if necessary. He and Dr. Box also stressed the risk of gathering at docks or lake clubhouses as the weather gets nicer.
We turn to the weather alert now. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking severe weather tonight. Kevin.
And the severe weather in the northern portion of the state. Hail-producing thunderstorms are rolling closer to the Michigan state line and then sliding east-southeast from there. I think the main threat is going to stay northeastern portion of the state as we go through the evening hours or the overnight hours, and this will continue to drop slowly south and east. But from Lafayette to Muncie north, that's where a thunderstorm watch is in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning. There are the thunderstorms right now on this path. They'll stay northeast of Peru to Marion and Portland in Jay County. Large hail has been the main threat with these storms. Damaging wind also potential. As we go through the night, I think the rain will expand to the south, but these will be very hit and miss for the rest of central Indiana. Strongest threat for severe storms, northeast portions of the state.
New financial help is coming for schools impacted by COVID-19 restrictions. Tomorrow, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and a group of community partners will announce a fund to help those schools transition to e-learning. We'll learn more at 10 a.m. School districts have until April 17th to submit their remote learning plans to the Department of Education.
RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers is keeping track of the ways coronavirus is impacting Indiana's workforce. The state is getting help from a third-party company, bringing in dozens of people to answer calls from Hoosiers trying to file from unemployment. The Department of Workforce Development says it takes an average of 21 days for applicants to receive benefits. An extra $600 per week is available to Hoosiers who have lost their jobs because of the coronavirus. Yesterday, we learned that money will be sent out by April 20th at the earliest. Hiring Hoosiers is also sharing with you the resources available to small businesses to keep them running and in turn keep more Hoosiers employed. RTV6's Cameron Riddle spoke with one Indianapolis woman who is taking advantage of an initiative from Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and the Indy Chamber of Commerce aimed at helping businesses get through this pandemic.
It's undeniable. The world as we once knew it is changing, and everything we do, from the way we work to the way we shop, is changing too. That's why Angel Hicks says converting her storefront boutique into an online-only store has been her smartest business decision.
Absolutely, it's the best decision ever. If I was really up and running at the time, people could go ahead and place their orders online and they could still be shipped and or delivered just like Amazon.
Hicks is still in the process of building the digital presence for 28 Boutique after switching to online only in January. Of course, not knowing the economy would come to a screeching halt in March. She says April is the month for businesses to do what she's already done and reevaluate.
I think small businesses will thrive because they've had time to sit back, relax, and rest and think of new ways to grow their businesses and do things to be considered essential businesses.
Hicks is confident she'll make it through the business slowdown thanks to a business loan she was able to get through the city of Indianapolis. The program is an effort from Mayor Hogsett and the Chamber of Commerce to give business owners some relief. Hicks says it's made all the difference.
I don't think I would be standing here as quickly without the funding from the city.
With the loan fueling her new business plan, Hicks is counting on optimism and her customers as they work from home and remain socially distant.
My clients are staying at home. They're doing Zoom meetings from their living room. So that being said, shopping has slowed down, sort of, but women always find an excuse to find something new in their closet.
In Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
And you can learn more about the Rapid Response Loan Program at the Indy Chamber's website. So far, they've gotten 600 loan requests and provided more than $100,000 in funding.
Hiring Hoosiers is also dedicated to connecting you to job opportunities during this difficult time. The circumstances surrounding the coronavirus outbreak are driving up demand for grocery delivery services like Instacart. The company is hiring hundreds of thousands of shoppers across the country. Micah Huber is a local Instacart shopper. She picks her own hours in which order requests to fill.
I do it as a supplement to my full-time job on the weekends and, some mornings. You can look through and you can actually see, kind of how big the order is, what the payment is, what the tip is.
A spokesperson for Instacart declined an interview with RTV6. Last week, some workers threatened to strike, demanding better pay, sick leave, and protective items. The company says starting next week, it will offer free health and safety kits for employees. They will include masks, hand sanitizer, and a thermometer. Instacart workers are considered independent contractors like Uber drivers.
Dollar General is also ramping up hiring during the pandemic. Last month, the company announced plans to add up to 50,000 employees by the end of April. Most, but not all of the jobs are expected to be temporary. Dollar General operates more than 16,000 stores, as well as distribution centers and cold storage facilities. And a company that provides home health care to senior citizens is hiring as well. Alliance Healthcare has openings for nurses, nursing assistants, and home health aides and more. Representatives say flexible work schedules and training are offered. You can find links to apply to those jobs and many more by going to our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
So we're living in a time right now in a situation that none of us have ever seen before.
Hoosiers are finding creative ways to support healthcare workers who are putting their own lives and safety at risk, fighting the COVID-19 outbreak. RTV6's Troy Washington explains how recreational vehicles are being put to important use.
For Brandon Jordan and his wife, showing Hoosier hospitality is a no-brainer.
We wanted to help out as much as we could, but I was furloughed last week, and so monetarily it's hard for us to really do anything.
Even though the couple didn't have extra money to help COVID-19 efforts, they found another way to give back.
She happened to see this on Facebook about the RVs and donating it to a doctor that is in need.
This couple is just one of thousands choosing to let an MD use their RV space to isolate when not at the hospital. Since many of those on the front lines treating patients with the coronavirus have loved ones they want to protect too.
We have an RV that's in storage right now. It's a travel trailer, 32-foot travel trailer, and no one's using it. We're not using it, so we figured we would offer that up if someone needed it.
In this case, the RV is fairly new, and the Jordans say they are okay getting their RV clean once all of this is over. Here's how it works. This Facebook group matches RVs with healthcare workers. It's an easy process, but not instantaneous. The RV must be suitable and paperwork must be completed to qualify before matching takes place.
It is on the list because we've given all the information, and we're waiting to get a call. If someone does have a match that needs one in our area and we're closest, they will give us a call.
RVs for MDs to fight the coronavirus now has more than 8,000 members and is growing by the moment. At last check, the Jordans felt confident their RV would be occupied soon. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Organizers tell RTV6 they need more RVs in Indianapolis. There are none available in the city right now, but more doctors need a place to isolate.
Now to the latest on the pandemic around the world and country. According to Johns Hopkins University, there are more than 1.4 million confirmed cases globally. That includes more than 398,000 cases in the United States. More than 82,000 people have died worldwide, and more than 12,000 of those are in the U.S. More than 300,000 people have recovered internationally, including more than 22,000 patients in the U.S. The federal government is not tracking COVID-19 cases by demographic groups. But today, the U.S. Surgeon General said African Americans are at a higher risk. Dr. Jerome Adams says early data pointed out this trend. Dr. Anthony Fauci discussed this new development at today's White House briefing.
We've known literally forever that diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and asthma are disproportionately afflicting the minority populations, particularly the African Americans. Unfortunately, when you look at the predisposing conditions that lead to a bad outcome with coronavirus, the things that get people into ICUs, that require intubation and often lead to death, they are just those very comorbidities that are unfortunately disproportionately prevalent in the African American population. So we're very concerned about that.
Several states are tracking coronavirus deaths by racial demographics. In Louisiana, African Americans make up 32% of the population, but slightly more than 70% of the COVID-19 deaths. In Michigan and Illinois, African Americans make up about 15% of the overall population, but account for about 40% of coronavirus deaths. Indiana State Health Commissioner says she hopes to have racial data on Indiana's cases by Thursday.
There's a lot of misinformation spreading regarding how to treat and prevent COVID-19. Fake coronavirus cures are flooding social media and email inboxes. The problem is so widespread, the Centers for Disease Control has issued a warning. Working for you, RTV6 asked a pharmaceutical expert to explain which products are safe and legal and which are not.
There's some good information out there, and as usual, there's a lot of questionable information. Dietary supplements are generally over-touted, so you're going to hear tons and tons of claims being made around taking this supplement or this vitamin, and it's really not doing anything. We're like, oh, I'll take CBD and it's going to be a cure-all, and that's not the case. It has real therapeutic capabilities, but in this instance, that is not one of them.
The Food and Drug Administration has sent several warning letters to companies that sold products claiming to prevent or treat COVID-19.
Local animal welfare groups are concerned that the peak of the coronavirus outbreak could leave beloved pets with nowhere to go. How you can help prevent that from happening?
It's well known that the pandemic is leading to mass layoffs and cuts in industries like food service, retail, and hospitality, but it's also impacting the arts. Coming up, a new effort to help musicians while their shows cannot go on.
Home experts at theindychannel.com. From the station working for you, this is an RTV6 special report.
Welcome back. In times like we are facing now, it is more important than ever to plan ahead and to keep in mind all of our family members. That includes our pets. Animal welfare groups are urging owners to create emergency plans for their pets. Indianapolis Animal Care Services is preparing for a possible influx of animals as people are hospitalized due to the coronavirus. But IACS says they just don't have that much space, so they are asking pet owners to make a plan. The most important thing is to identify someone who can look after your pet if you are hospitalized.
Have the pet staying in the home and having somebody coming into the home to care for the pet, whether that be a neighbor or a family member. So we want to make sure that you've got somebody that's comfortable with your pet, that your pet is also comfortable with, that you have enough food, supplies, medications for your pet, instructions on how to care for your pet in the event that you're hospitalized and can't give those instructions.
Also, make sure your pet has a collar with ID tags, an updated microchip, your vet's contact info, and daily care instructions. Your pet should have enough food, treats, and supplies to last at least 2 weeks. IACS will do their best to reunite pets with their owners in the event they are hospitalized, but they cannot guarantee that. The best way to ensure your pet will be reunited with you after a hospital stay is to have an emergency plan in place that does not involve relying on a shelter.
The Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra announced today it's laying off musicians and staff because all of their concerts have been canceled and they don't know when they'll start again. The orchestra says this unprecedented step is necessary for long-term viability. The news comes as the Indianapolis Jazz Foundation is making an effort to raise money for musicians out of work because of the coronavirus pandemic. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker shows you how the community is working together to make sure the music can continue after this pandemic is over.
That's how Rob Dixon started out our interview. I put him on the spot, and of course, he delivered. The saxophonist plays 6 nights out of the week in the Indy area, but the COVID-19 outbreak has put a stop to that.
Yeah, I think musicians and these gig workers are kind of on the front line of our economy. I mean, they're the first wave that it really affects.
Rob and countless other musicians like him have lost their main source of income. That's why several different organizations have come together to help.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to the Indianapolis Jazz Foundation, the Jazz Kitchen, the Penrod Society, and Our Music Group, and all of these great musicians in town that we're raising money for.
We're actually about $40,000 of our $50,000 goal right now.
More than $40,000 was raised in 3 days, and the money continues to come in. Erica Stickler with the Indianapolis Jazz Foundation on how this is bringing people together while we're physically apart.
It's just a different level of compassion and generosity that we're seeing, and it really brings people together. It brings communities together.
On the other side of this, I know they're going to be ready to entertain people, so, you know, and I know people will be ready to go out and check them out.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Well, the Indianapolis Jazz Foundation that believes that they're going to surpass their $50,000 goal for the Indie Musicians Relief Fund. Musicians will be able to apply for grants to help them out during this tough time.
And we want to hear more stories of communities working together during this difficult time. Share them by emailing them to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. And RTV6 is proud to be working together with United Way of Central Indiana. We're teaming up for the COVID-19 Community Economic Relief Fund. The initiative supports organizations that serve people and families affected by the pandemic. You can donate to the fund by texting HELP 2020 to 91999 or by visiting the website that you see on your screen, covid19cerf.org.
Lafayette made it into the lower 80s today. Indianapolis at 79. Classic forecast here. We go from shorts and short sleeve shirts to a heavy jacket as we get to Friday afternoon, where the high will just be 47 degrees. Part of the transition with thunderstorms expected tonight and tomorrow night. Dan Gadbury captured this, the full moon rising this evening. Many of us can still see that if you want to step out before heading off to sleep and check out the brightest, biggest full moon of 2020 in progress. Through 3 a.m., the most likely time for some of these strong to isolated severe storms. You see how the rainfall tails off quickly after that. It should be dry as we get up in the morning, or any isolated showers ending. Thought you'd find this interesting. Here are the storm reports, and almost exclusively hail reports. Nearly 200 of those across the Great Lakes and Midwest. Here are the hail-producing thunderstorms now, sliding to the south and east. These will coalesce and just become a complex of thunderstorms that will roll through Ohio tonight, probably into Pennsylvania and portions of Virginia. Some additional storms firing up in Illinois. On that trajectory, Lafayette to Muncie line could see some additional thunderstorms overnight, but I think those are likely to lose some steam. Anytime we have overnight thunderstorms, keep in mind our Storm Shield. It is a free app, acts as a weather radio for your iPhone and Android. It will wake you up. Gives you peace of mind that it will wake you up overnight if you're in a warned area. Tomorrow, dry through the day, just as warm. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not quite as warm. 74 or 75, but that's still very nice for this time of year. And the wind will stay rather light. It won't be as strong as what we'll see on Thursday. Tomorrow night, another risk for some isolated severe storms. The probability of rain will go up again tomorrow night into the early overnight on Thursday. 7 p.m. to 9, the nose of some showers and thunderstorms arrives. By 11 o'clock, we've got a line of thunderstorms. They'll quickly move to the south and east. That will put an end to the very mild temperatures. Wind and hail would be the main threats from those storms. That's a much cooler wind on Thursday, gusting to 30 miles per hour in spots, and starting the very noticeable drop in temperatures, lower 50s Thursday. Then look what happens. Friday, only 47. Looking to Easter weekend, rain likely, and 60 degrees on Easter Sunday. Back with more of 6 News after this.
Together, working for you.
From the station working for you, this is an RTV6 special report.
And like many local businesses that are allowed to stay open during the pandemic, a Central Indiana flower shop is paying it forward. In this case, they're calling it Porch It Forward. The owners of Adrian's Flowers and Gifts in Noblesville put bouquets on the porch of their shop this week. They're encouraging people to take a bouquet for free and leave it on someone else's porch for them to enjoy.
Somebody came today by here and said, oh, I came to I take care of this lady. It's her birthday today. I'm going to get one of these bouquets for her. Okay, that's good. Open up your heart. Open up your business to all the possibilities. It's not like it used to be. So we can get that done and make a better world for it. And we'll still be there when we get through this at the end, you know.
The owners say they'll continue to put free flowers on their porch all week. The shop is on Connors Street between 12th and 13th Streets. Mark?
How uplifting there. Great to see that. Hey, Easter is this Sunday. The holiday will likely be a lot different for most families as they abide by social distancing guidelines. But RTV6's Brad Brown shows many area restaurants are ready to make sure that you still have a delicious Easter dinner.
The Cunningham Restaurant Group's portfolio includes some of the most popular tables in Central Indiana, from burgers to family dining to casual cocktails, and most of them have made the transition to being takeout only.
Most of the orders are being prepaid and doing the curbside option, so that's been pretty smooth. I think we're now getting into that flow after a week or so of doing this. We're getting into that flow of what the new norm is for the next few weeks, and so we're trying to maintain that.
With a wide variety of menus and concepts in the mix, Cunningham's staff has been able to adjust quickly to the changing demands of current times.
Obviously trying to figure out what are the dishes that people like. We came out and introduced an abbreviated menu, but at that point, we also had some interest in other menu items, and we've added those along the way.
And now they're helping families put together one of the signature holiday meals on the calendar. Cunningham has assembled an Easter dinner for carryout. From the ham, the sides, even a carrot cake for dessert. These award-winning chefs have it all covered.
We knew that many of our guests would be extremely disappointed by not having that Easter present. So we were looking for ways, how could we help accommodate that need? We knew that people would be struggling getting the pieces of their dinner anyway if they were doing it for their families, and we have the access to those supplies.
So even though we can't gather around their tables to mark the occasion, that doesn't mean you have to work hard for a great Easter experience.
It's that community that is coming out that trusts us, that's giving us that message that they still want our business, and they still want to dine with us.
The Cunningham Group announced on its website this afternoon they have sold out of their Easter dinners, but they do have takeout and delivery menus available at 21 restaurants all over Central Indiana. There are several other establishments in the area that are doing Easter takeout for this weekend. We have a list of those for you right now under the We're Open Indy tab on our website at theindychannel.com. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
It's terribly exciting. That's why we do it.
Isolated severe storms possible overnight, especially Lafayette to Muncie North. We're all warm and dry tomorrow, with more thunderstorms returning tomorrow night. Mark?
Thanks for choosing RTV6 here at 11 o'clock. GMI comes your way at 4:30. We hope you have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.